Alphabet stock or Google stock, GOOG is the symbol. I wanted to take a look at Alphabet stock because made some news. They lost an antitrust case, and I don't even see this as a bump in the road, to be perfectly honest with you. This is one of the biggest companies out there. Yes, there will be some kind of shifting with valuations, but it's going to be minuscule, is my take on such a big company. Nonetheless, Alphabet stock did make some news today. I had previously looked at Alphabet stock a couple months ago and I said this would be a good buy. Alphabet stock, of course, has shot up since then. Let's break down the numbers and I'll break down why I think, despite or notwithstanding today's news on the antitrust lawsuit, Alphabet stock is a strong buy. Let's jump in. If you're just finding my channel for the first time, thanks so much for stopping by. Make sure to hit the like and follow button. I'm an economist. I break down the economy, then I show how that would affect the stock market or individual stocks. And here we are looking at Alphabet stock. This is the chart that I had in my analysis on Alphabet stock back in October, immediately after they posted their earnings. The video is still up. I said buy. And I'll show you the reasons why. It wasn't rocket science or anything like that. Moving forward, this is the most recent chart, the 4-hour bar chart. And as you can see, small move lower from a recent peak based on the news analysis. Let's set it aside. This is such a bump in the road on such a huge company for Google. Yes, they will have to shift things. They're still going to make that money. Trust me. They're just going to figure out ways to make money differently in the future. Probably all systems will go. For now, they'll appeal. They'll wait for the appeal. Earnings aren't really going to be affected too much. Let's break everything down and take a look at why Alphabet stock would be a good buy. Recent quarter, 76.69 was the quarterly revenues. One of the things I'm looking for is continuously increasing revenue. Despite the news announcement, I expect that Google stock or Alphabet stock would continue to increase revenues on a quarterly basis. Here's a look at 2024. They're looking for almost $340 billion in revenue. This is a pretty big chunk, about 11% higher than 2023. That's sizable. This outperforms the broader S&P 500, and it's one of the things as a value investor that I'm looking for. What is the rate of growth of the benchmark, in this case the S&P 500? Would this increase in revenue outperform that? Yes, it does. Gross margins, 56.7%. These guys are pretty flatline. You can reasonably assume that they're going to print 57% again because they keep doing it. Operating margins, 27.8%, again, right there in that sweet spot for them. Net margins, 25.7%. You can see some room for some upside there if revenues increase and they can keep their costs down, minimized. The broader stock market, the S&P 500, 10.25% roughly for net margins. So not only does Alphabet stock, the revenue, outperform the broader S&P 500, net margins, every dollar they bring in, they keep a lot more, something like 150% more than what or about 125% more than what the broader stock market does. So those are some key metrics to keep in mind. Earnings per share, quarterly basis, $1.55. Again, I'm always looking for increasing earnings per share, but the annual kind of smooths things out. 2024, looking for $6.71 earnings per share. Now the economy. Again, as an economist, that is the first thing I look at. What's happening with the economy? We are seeing some slowdown in personal incomes. The rate of growth of personal incomes is starting to decline. This means that the rate of growth, the year-over-year change rate in consumption, is starting to decline. We're seeing that news as well. We're seeing small upticks in unemployment. The Federal Reserve has been raising interest rates. What we don't know right now is the Federal Reserve done. Inflation, in my book, it's going to be sticky. And the Federal Reserve, despite what the stock market is sort of pricing in, the Federal Reserve is going to have to, in say 9, 12 months, raise interest rates further because they're not magically going to get there to 2% like they want. They'll have to raise interest rates a little more. How much more? We'll find out how sticky that inflation is. But this will affect Google stock because you're going to see a decline in ad dollars, things like that. If the economy does contract too much, we'll see how that plays out over 2024. But roughly speaking, it looks like we're going to see kind of a baseline move forward with the U.S. economy, slight contraction, really affecting the lower income level down below, that individuals or the economy in general is probably going to be moving forward. So 6071 is probably wheelhouse, and Alphabet stock could probably hit that. But let's look at this. Current price 133.56. 2024 earnings per share for Google Alphabet stock 665. Real simple. Take the 665, divided that over top of the current price. You're looking at Alphabet stock 4.979%. The U.S. 10-year Treasury is your benchmark, trading at about 4.21% today. Looks like it wants to move up a little bit higher. For now, we'll see. Inflation data that we just got basically said Fed's got some work to do. Inflation's sticky, but it's not going downward too slowly either. But that's your benchmark. Alphabet stock outperforms on a yield basis at this price point, 133.56, outperforms the 10-year. What if Alphabet stock falls even further and they still hit that 665? You're looking at a yield that will increase in value if you can get a lower price. It already outperforms the U.S. 10-year Treasury benchmark. So this news we got today could be looked at as a buying opportunity, someone looking to buy on the dip, holding on, looking at the 10-year saying it'll outperform, the stock will push higher if you use that as your metric. Taking a bigger look, today's move downward on Alphabet stock, kind of a blip. Really, that's what it kind of amounts to. Now, Alphabet stock did push about 122.5, roughly. Looking at that chart, had you purchased then, you're looking at it's 133 right now, so that's a decent little, say, $8 push higher, about 6-7% increase over the past couple of weeks. If the U.S. economy continues forward and unemployment doesn't increase too rapidly, Alphabet stock will probably continue to perform well. But, and as I iterated in many of my videos, I look at 2025 as going to be kind of ugly. Inflation won't go away. So if you looked at Alphabet stock as a value investment or a stock trade, given today's news announcement, I'd say hit it and quit it fast. That we could see some moves higher in the broader stock market, especially the tech stocks. But eventually, we're probably going to peak out because in 2025, the Fed is going to have to deal with the inflation issue. I'll keep you posted on Alphabet stock. Make sure to hit that like and follow button. Thanks so much for joining the channel. It's brand new and it's growing quite rapidly. We'll see you in the next video.